What's up, everybody? You're watching Beers and Beards. I'm Jimmy B. Dam. I'm coming to you from my new base of operations in Wilmington, North Carolina. I am drinking Eye of the Hawk today from Mendocino Brewing Company. This one comes set to kill with 8.0 ABV, something I'm always looking at when I buy my beer, and as would be appropriate for a beer that says at 8.0. It's got a thick, heavy taste, kind of bitter. That's the way I like my beer, though. I like to know I'm throwing something down the hatch. So if you're like me, you will enjoy this one. Eye of the Hawk. Drink up. I am about to launch into my picks for the wild card round of the NFL playoffs, which I'm very excited for. This is one of my favorite weekends in sports. I love the NFL, and wild card weekend, it's normally just that. It's wild, it's crazy. Later on, I'm going to give you some picks as far as awards, and not just the standard NFL awards. We at Beers and Beards have our own awards and honors that we like to throw out there, so I'll be getting into that. But I'm starting with the playoffs, NFL action. We love the Who You Got segments here on Beers and Beards, and we love to hear from you guys. We love the support that you give us online. Twitter, I'm at Jimmy B. Damned. My boy is at Don't Be Like Ryan. Facebook, YouTube, you can look for Beers and Beards and let us know what you think there. We're always interested in hearing from you. These are my picks, and I feel like I'm going out on a limb some this week, but I'm calling it as I see it. I'll start in the NFC, where we've got the Detroit Lions going to play Dallas, the Cowboys, and we know where my man is going on this one, the big fella. He's down with Dallas when they're ugly. Certainly, now that things are looking up for the Cowboys, he's going to be on them all the way. I'm sure he's picking them to the Super Bowl and beyond. He might even be picking repeat this week. Who knows? Me personally, when I look at this game, I'm going with the Detroit Lions. That's right. I'll drink to that. Lions fans, you're happy to be in the playoffs? Drink with me. Let me explain my logic here. To me, Detroit, they're playing with house money. All right. We know what life is like for Lions fans. Some of you guys are like me. You got friends who pull for the Lions. You pity them. You feel bad for them. The playoffs is an impossible dream for the Detroit Lions. And yet here they are. Mission accomplished, man. And anything that happens from here on out for the Detroit Lions, it's icing on the cake. They're going to be playing pressure-free football. Also, Sue got suspended. I think it's a bad thing. Obviously, they don't like it. This guy is a force to be reckoned with on defense. But then they get him back. So in a way, having him taken away and then getting him back, like that feels like, I don't know, it's like a bonus. It's like they're getting something going into the matchup that they had to begin with. But it still feels to me like something that would lend some momentum to the team, some excitement. Sue's back. We have him. We don't have to play without him. I think that bodes well for them. And I look at Dallas, a team that, yes, they've had a stellar season, but it's not just about getting to the playoffs for them, okay? That's been an issue recently, but even before getting to the tournament was a big deal. They had problems in the playoffs, I'm a Seattle fan, you guys know that, so one of my favorite Tony Romo moments will always be his inability to hold the kick. And that's the type of thing. They're not going to be playing pressure-free football, all right? It's not just about making it to the tournament for them, especially the season they've had. They're thinking about the championship, okay? They're thinking about hoisting the big trophy up. So for me, Detroit, no pressure. Dallas, all the pressure in the world is on them. They're playing against a terrific defense. And if anything goes awry, the least little thing doesn't go off on schedule, suddenly I think the whole thing could unravel for Dallas. I think we're due for some bad Romo. I still believe in bad Romo. And we haven't seen a lot of him. I don't know if we've seen any of him this year for the most part. I think what we have seen we can attribute to back issues. So, hey, I like the way this game is lining up for the Detroit Lions. And let's also go ahead and throw in Dallas is better on the road, okay? Being at home, they have maybe the most minimal home field advantage in all of football. So I take the Lions. And the big fella will have something to say about that. NFC, we've also got Arizona going to play Carolina. Carolina, with a losing record, wins the division. They get to host the game. I'm cool with that. I love the way the NFL is set up. I like divisional football. It should be as important as it is. Give the division winner a playoff game. No problems here with that. But I think the neat thing about this is, even though they come in with a losing record, everybody seems to be rocking with the Panthers. At least that's what I'm hearing because of the situation with at quarterback for Arizona. And me, I look at Arizona, and they've got that tremendous defense. They've got an offense that's still capable of making big plays. I think we saw some improvement at quarterback last week. And I just think that Bruce Arians is a master of playing the disrespect card. I mean, he's been doing it all year long, even when they were rocking and rolling and there weren't these questions at quarterback. So I know now that they're going to play a team with a losing record in the playoffs and people are riding the Panthers. Bruce Arians will use that to his advantage. I expect that Arizona team to come out fired up. We know we'll get a solid effort on defense. I think they make some things happen on offense and they pull that one out. AFC football, we got some interesting matchups here as well. We got Cincinnati going to play Indianapolis, and Indianapolis has had some issues recently. Against Dallas, they look like maybe the worst team in football, and we all know what Cincinnati's record is like with Marvin Lewis in the playoffs and in big games in general. Despite the recent victory over Denver, it takes more than one win like that to really sway public opinion. So that's an interesting one to call. But for me, I mean, you guys remember my rant on Cincinnati earlier this year, and if you don't, I went with Cincinnati in one of those big games, and they did what Cincinnati does, and they dropped the ball, and I said no more, and I'm sticking with it, man. The Colts have Andrew Luck. The guy's a magician. He will get the job done. Marvin Lewis will fail on the big stage once again. I take the Colts, which brings us to a rock-solid divisional matchup. It's Baltimore at Pittsburgh. I do believe that this is a rivalry that maybe it's lost a little luster of late. A few years ago it was maybe the best thing going in football. But lately I don't know if it's been quite the same, but they're two teams that don't like each other. It'll be physical. I think Le'Veon Bell missing this one due to injury is a huge deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not a big believer in their defense. I think they will really miss Bell on offense. They've done some tremendous things on offense this year, but Bell was a huge part of that. I think him not being there, just by virtue of that, I'm willing to go with the Ravens because I think it's a close matchup with Bell. You pull him out of the game, he's hurt, he can't play. I'm riding with the Ravens on this one. Those are my picks. Again, we love to hear from you guys online. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter, where I'm steadily tweeting, and the big fella every once in a while tweets. Let us know what you're thinking. Those are my picks. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm drinking Eye of the Hawk. I'll be back with some award stuff shortly.